Good morning. Welcome to Positive Vibes, making positive vibes, making positivity and gratitude louder in a podcast world. My name's Shane Nikolic, and if you're on my Facebook Live, you see that. But I dropped the ball and forgot to line up. Well, didn't have time. I didn't make the time, I guess, to line up a guest for today's show. So I just posted on my Instagram and Facebook and just, said, hey, if you want to be a guest, call in. And left phone number 253-777-8864. And that's the phone number here at the station. You can call that and be my guest on the show. If not, I have a couple different things I can read here. Giving some positive vibes out there, some positive energy putting out into the universe. Okay. I guess I'll just start off reading that. If someone wants to call in, go ahead and call in, and we can, take it from there. All right, and I'll just start with this. This reading is from the Motivation Manifesto by Brendon Burchard. His book, 9 Declarations to Claim Your Personal Power. And this is Declaration 5. We shall practice joy and gratitude. Gratitude bestows reverence, allowing us to encounter everyday epiphanies, those transcendent moments of awe that change forever how we experience life and the world. And that's a quote from Sarah Bresnoch. We have been gifted with a divine vitality and the accompanying powers of will, strength, and enthusiasm. Yet where is the energized, heightened, exhilarated pulse we would expect from such a chosen and capable people? Why do we not hear more laughter and life? Where is the vibrant, mad fury and stunning passion of the fully engaged human? Where are the shining souls whose hearts beat with racing enthusiasms? Where are the magnetism and the fire? Where are the gratitude, the joy, the spark, and the charge? What happened to the miraculous life energy that brought us into existence? It seems that a great tidal wave of cynicism and pessimism has washed ashore and drowned the dreams of our people. The emotional energy of the world is flatlining. We can see this drained life energy in a stunning number of people's eyes and faces, in their conduct and conversations. There is no vitality, no freedom, and no positivity in their attitude. Look how their faces seem too weathered, sallow, and stern for their age. Listen to how their conversations sound quiet and resigned, like whispers from a tired, disbanding tribe. Broaden the view and notice that most of our culture's buzz and excitement comes from a mass hysteria surrounding newfound opportunities for wealth or from the manufactured lives of the celebrity elite. Ours has become a world where a tragic number of people are more fascinated by materialism and the lives of distant narcissists than by their own life experience. Humans are not destined to be the lazy, tired, greedy, boring caricatures of gross abundance splashed before us today with sensationalism. Sadly, from afar, it would appear that many people have become resigned, that they have given up their remarkable potential, that they are consenting to creep instead of soar, that they risk turning into a culture of slow-moving, low-aiming, negativity-spewing brats and blamers. One by one, we are seeing so many people for whom we care get sucked into the awful whirlpool of negativity. The energy of all this is palpable, and it must be our imperative to change it. It must be a main aim of our lives to rekindle the magic of life. We mustn't live in the darkness of our doubts, the shadows of the joyless, or the clutches of the energy vampires. Let us remember that life's purpose is to live freely, vibrantly, joyously, madly, consciously, lovingly, enthusiastically. Our nature gives us an intrinsic charge for such a life, and it is time to fire it once more. We are to be radiant, grateful, buoyant people, basking in our blessings and striving cheerfully toward our dreams under the bright and loving sunshine of the divine. It takes only will and conditioning to enjoy such a life. Let us make the choice to re-examine our attitude and orientation to life, to cultivate a more positive and present pulse. Let us declare, we shall practice joy and gratitude. The jewel of life. The greatest of human freedoms is the ability to choose at any moment the palette of our emotional sky. We alone activate the very energy and emotion through which we experience life. If we wish to feel joy and gratitude in our lives, then we must direct our beliefs and behaviors in order to accomplish that end. And we must do it constantly, with such force and repetition, that those emotions become the hues of our daily attitude. This is not easy work, but let it be our mission. Perhaps the severest requirement of the good life is to have the constancy of mind to maintain our joy and gratitude, even amid hardship, pain, and injustice. This is the requirement of self-mastery and happiness. So it rests on our shoulders to notice when we feel bored or depressed, and to force ourselves outside to engage with the world with a smile. It's up to us to appreciate our team even when a project is failing, and to be thankful for our spouse even amid conflict. There can be no mastery of life if we cannot transform the energy we feel at any moment into cheerful engagement and deep appreciation. The self-labeled realists will tell us this is impossible. They have abandoned hope. Will say that our world is too stressful and cruel, that our genetics and environment are destined to dominate our life and feelings. They will insist that our unconscious minds and reptilian impulses for fear and selfishness will rule the day no matter what we do. But let our minds decide what is real and what is possible for us. Let our own eyes see among the bored and battered faces a starkly different, brighter lot. There are those whose faces are so alight with life that they serve as a blinding reminder, amid the darkness of our time, that joy and charisma and hope still exist. These are the energizers, the cheerful individuals who inspire and enliven those around us, even though their own backgrounds, genetics, and environments would give cause for them to be apathetic and detached. They, too, might have come from a broken home or poverty. But instead of choosing bitterness, they seem blissfully aware of and deeply thankful for their blessings, even when those blessings are fewer and more meager than others. These few, the energized and happy and thankful among us, are not lucky, nor are they to be envied, for their treasures are available to all of us. Their treasure is a freely chosen attitude. We are not blind to the fact it is difficult to choose joy in an agitated, chaotic, often angry world. The social contagion of negativity spreads quickly because the human mind is susceptible. We are wired to sense and mirror the emotional energy around us. Seeing fear on someone's face can trigger a state of fear. Such emotional contagion had primitive benefits once. It was a blessing in times of grave danger. When the faces of our friends contorted in fear and they began to flee from some unseen threat, we saw their terrorized faces and automatically felt afraid and fled with them even before knowing the threat. This prevented us from being eaten or maimed by a prowling animal or murderous band of men. But this primal protection is now a mortal enemy. Without predators on the hunt for our flesh, with little to fear but fear itself, in a world full of bored, fearful, sullen people, this mirroring impulse can ruin our lives. The energy of the masses is, at best, a low-tier energy, an emotional bleak space created by confused yet cynical people operating on little sleep, high stress, and a frenetic desire to be somewhere else, with someone else, doing something else. We must ask ourselves, should I conform to their energy? And what of their thoughts and language? When the trite and bewildered cynic tells us that the world is going to hell, should we let our mind automatically seek to confirm this reality? Should we too allow our mind to cast around for something to complain about? Will we allow all the negative and needy energy of the world to infiltrate and spoil our motivation or serenity? We mustn't become catastrophes of energetic conformity. We must use our consciousness to overpower our mirroring impulses. The more we automatically allow ourselves to sync with others' energy levels, unless they are the emotional energies of joy, love, and enthusiasm we ourselves wish to feel, the more we diminish our personal power. The more often we fall in line with the poor language and attitude of the drowning masses, the more we sound and look like victims. We must never forget that ours is a world of distracted people, craving personal freedom but often choosing to operate from fear. And so, if we aren't conscious with our will and vigilance, we risk sliding into their tragedy. Life can lose its vibrant aura and charm if we do not bend the energy of our minds toward positive engagement and appreciation. And so, let us take back our focus and remember the riches. Joy is the jewel of life, gratitude the gold. The Joyous Master. What is the magic of the joyous few who illuminate the world? Where do they find such pleasure in life? And how do they exude such positivity? Theirs is a simple formula. The joyous are simply more conscious and consistent in their attempts to sense and generate joy and gratitude. They try harder, making joy a practice, a habit, a consistent condition of their character, in enduring social art amid glum and boring times. They have made it their aim to live a joyous life. That is all. No smoke, no mirrors, just those simple forces at work that sustain motivation, attention, and effort toward that which they desire. This answer is not popular. It isn't easy to admit that we do not try often or hard enough. But if joy is lacking in our lives, we must accept the clear truth that we are not often enough bending our will to joy. We can lie and say that joyful people have it easier than we do. But we all know happy people who have less fortune and health than we. Let us look to the instruction of those little happy people around us. Children have joy naturally. Their curiosity, lack of expectations, pleasure in small things, and full engagement in the moment are quick sprouting seeds of joy. We can learn from seeds of joy, not seeds of joy. Anyway, we can learn from them. What would happen if we put their natural inclinations for joy into our lives? Could we shift to being more curious about our immediate surroundings? Won't releasing expectation, especially the expectation that perfection should surround us everywhere we go, bring new delights? Can we take pleasure in small things and expecting good things to come our way? Surely doing these things would change our lives. Let us return then to the instruction of happy children again and again. Be curious. Release expectation. Take pleasure in small things and expect good things. Cheerfully engage the moment. Let this become our practice, our mastery, and our art. Those who perfect bringing joy to every day of their lives are not unlike any other master. They work so hard at something that it soon becomes play. The greatest artists and athletes, the highest achieving executives and entrepreneurs, the happiest laborers, and the most respected leaders all lose themselves in their work with great zeal and enthusiasm. Their efforts are like a game. They immerse themselves cheerfully as if playing to their strengths in a grand sandlot. They do not look angry, bewildered, frustrated, or restless, but rather relaxed, effortless. Even in chaos and turmoil, they meet struggle with intense and spirited joy. They engage in the challenge and honor as if they expected it and accept it. Even amid the discomfort of growing complexity of building their lives and their careers, they often appear unfazed and nearly serene. They often sing while they toil and smile when perplexed and working. They spend and stretch themselves with devotion, willing themselves to remain positive and cheerful, knowing that one day their diligence will make them masters, knowing that one day they will have their victory and transcendence. These are the joyous masters. The joyous masters know that struggle does not always have to equal suffering. Let us learn from them and remember that there can be joy and spirit in meeting life's demands, in stretching beyond comfort, in pushing through times of high exertion and low achievement. The joyous masters know that life is a journey, a trying and exciting adventure, whose destination matters less than the passion and freedom felt along the way. Let us learn from them and remember that, even when we are weary or uncertain, we can feel presence and eagerness for each moment. The joyous masters know that amid all the chaos and conflict, all the hurry and wickedness of the world, there is something solid within that is beautiful and steady and good. Like them, we can have the sense that our mind and soul are fresh and pure and clean, even as we slug it out in the thick mess of humanity. The joyous masters know that nothing good comes easily, but that all things can be met with peace. Like them, we can show grace even in the tightening grip of pain, and face our long trials with serenity and dignity and enthusiasm for a new day. The joyous master knows that in time, everyone will find their path, so the ultimate virtues are patience and love. Like them, we can know that there is no need to force or coerce others into our quest or joys. No matter how unwilling or undirected someone appears in this moment or this year, we know that all will find their way eventually to their own sense of freedom. Let us pray that we may find the will and strength to learn such things, to practice such things, to become such masters. The path of gratitude. We should not focus on the shadow in the corner and be so foolish as to miss the fact that the shadow exists only because the room is illuminated. There is light all around. There is much to be grateful for in this seemingly dark world, and so all we must do is pull our gaze from the shadow and look to the ocean of divine light and grace in which we are blessed to live. To the attuned and grateful, the cascade of the universe's blessings feels like a magnificent waterfall of luck and wonder. In searching for things to be grateful for, we need not look far. One must simply release the ego, let down the persona that feels it has created all things or must perfect all things, and accept the natural, the unexplainable, the energy that has graced us with vitality and a world of magic. A vibrant and happy life begins at the path of gratitude. So let us be more appreciative and thankful each day. Let me be thankful for all the light that surrounds me. Let me be thankful to any caregivers who inspire me. Let me be thankful to my lover who overlooks my shortcomings. Let me be thankful to the women and men who risk their lives to protect my freedoms. Let me be thankful for the blue tint of the sky and the beauty of our natural world. Let me be thankful for the heart that drums life through me. Let me be thankful for last night's rest, no matter its length. Let me be thankful for my gifts of free will, of volition, of endurance. Let me be thankful to my mentors and to the traitors who also instructed me. Let me be thankful that I am not living in deeper need and squalor. Let me be thankful for my home, for my daily bread, for my clean water. Let me be thankful for the opportunity to work and create and earn. Let me be thankful for the luck that has advanced me and the disasters and tribulations that have educated me. Let me be thankful for the blank slate that comes with each morning. Let me be thankful for my breath and the clean moment at hand. Let me be thankful to my Creator. It is in finding so many things to be thankful for that we become appreciative and alive. Just as we have done with joy, let us make it our aim to become masters of gratitude. We are blessed. We remember always that darn it. How shall we maintain so much joy and gratitude in our lives? We remember always that our emotional state is a choice, a selection from a broad palette of reactions and feelings available to us at any moment. As a power plant does not have energy but generates energy, we do not have happiness. We create it, generate it, and transform lower energies into higher energies. Similarly, we do not have joy or gratitude. We generate and experience them by our will. We can make joy and gratitude a daily habit and standard simply by measuring how we cultivate such emotions. Several times each day we can assess our success by asking, on a scale of 1 to 10, How much joy and gratitude am I bringing to this moment? There is power in this wording. We are not asking how much joy and gratitude we are experiencing in the moment, as if we are somehow entitled to such high emotions. We are demanding personal responsibility. How much am I bringing? In rating our emotional reality, we become more aware and we allow our mind to decide if the answer is acceptable based on the quality of life we desire. If we are living at low levels of joy and gratitude, our intuitive nature will demand that we heighten our focus and emotion. Perhaps we might be thankful for the self-reproach that stirs our minds and souls to higher levels of energy when we know we could be happier and more grateful. Yet let us be thankful for that and for all things, for we are blessed. And that's the reading for this morning. And just checking to see if anyone's trying to call in. No, not yet. Okay, no one's calling in yet. Going back over what I just read, let me find it here. There was one part in here about where was that? Basically, getting out of our comfort zone and, being grateful for what we have and putting forth more energy, getting out of our comfort zone. Trying to remember. I must still be a little tired and loopy from that 23 miles I ran yesterday. Shoot. I forget exactly where it was at. But it's like, I'm in doing this run super distance challenge. And yesterday we were challenged to, since it was the 23rd, we were challenged to do 23 reps of all these different exercises, and said, hey, it's a bonus if you can make it to 23 miles on your daily run, for this run streak for the month of May. And I was going to be running 14 miles with a friend of mine at Point Defiance Park, running on 5 Mile Drive. Not just around and around. We ran one way and then ran back the other way. Just running with a friend, doing that, and a couple other friends came and joined, and we ran for a while, and then I hit my wall, and I had to walk, so they just kept running, and that was okay, that was cool, since I had like 9 more miles to run after them anyway, since I decided to go for the 23, push myself and go for the 23, so I did that, and it's like I decided to run down into an area where, I hadn't planned on running. Ran down to Point Ruston, and lo and behold, I found out possibly the reason why, what was behind my running down there. I just happened to see a bald eagle flying above me and circling and just going higher and higher. And I got the whole thing on, well, I got a lot of it on video for like a minute and 21 seconds or whatever, but the video didn't turn out. I didn't have the right setting on my phone, so I didn't post the whole thing. I just took a still shot out of there and posted it on my social media. But, that's like the third close bald eagle sighting I've had in the past couple months. Not sure what exactly that's, supposed to mean or whatever, if there's any symbolism there, but I think it's just really super cool. And I'm just going with that, and I'm being grateful for it. It says here, this, to quote Brendon Burchard out of the section on amplifying motivation. Few things amplify our long-term motivation more than a positive social environment. And for me, essentially creating my own sort of, it could be described differently. I'll just say this. In creating my own environment, bringing the joy and the gratitude, to bringing it with me everywhere I go, and letting it, as Brendon Burchard was referring to and speaking about in the section I just read, about when he was talking there about joy and gratitude, and he was talking about, in the beginning there, he was talking about people, in essence, showing their fear and creating fear in the environment that they're in, being joyful, creating our own joy and gratitude, and showing that creates joy and gratitude in our environment, in those around us, in situations, in crowds around us. It's just like, that's, it's like, despite having, most days it's like, I run, I'm very active, and I treat my MS with diet and exercise. But, and so therefore and the way it works for me, my multiple sclerosis, the state of my disease is that it's really quiet. Like, the symptoms aren't real loud. The disease isn't too bad, isn't bad at all at the present time anyway. And, every now and again the vertigo gets to me, or, it's like, my muscles cramp up or whatever. Most of the time, I'm sure that's my fault from running so much, being so active, not stretching properly, or, maybe not drinking enough water. But at any rate, it's like just I'm grateful about I'm grateful I have multiple sclerosis, that it's in the state where it's at. Grateful it's not worse. Grateful it's not at a higher stage. I'm at the bare bones, the very beginning level of MS, the relapsing remitting. And, that's where the symptoms come and go, and they've pretty much been gone for quite a while. Pretty much, for the most part, I'd say since I started running in 2016, 4 years ago. Okay, that was redundant. But anyway, 2016, 4 years ago, of course. But at any rate, it's like just being grateful for my multiple sclerosis, being, and just being, just creating my joy and gratitude within and showing those, maybe that helps someone else. And so, there's dual benefits, I guess, If you create your own joy and gratitude, maybe that will help someone else that's not having such a good day. Maybe that will raise their attitude and, their spirits. I've had that happen to me, seeing other people that are joyous and grateful, and it helps me out if, maybe I'm having a bad day. Okay. There was another section in here I was really looking at earlier. Where is it? Bear with me here. Okay, I'm going to read this out of Declaration 1 out of the Motivation Manifesto by Brendon Burchard. We shall meet life with full presence and power. Your true home is in the here and the now. And that's a quote from, excuse my, pronunciation. I don't want to screw this up too bad, but Thich Nhat Hanh. I do believe he's Vietnamese. Your true home is in the here and the now. I love that. That's a great quote. An affliction is stealing joy from the world's people, poisoning what was meant to be a divinely inspired experience of freedom. It is a haunting absence from the present moment. Too many have checked out of their bodies and their lives. They are not attuned to the energy and circumstances around them, nor do they understand their responsibilities to those things in this very moment. They have little awe or reverence for the blessings around them, acting as if they preferred to be somewhere else, as if they were mentally living in distant time zones, hours behind or ahead of the joyous tick and bliss of now. Their life force thus seems detached and dissipated, their lives unaccounted for and unlived, their souls a world away. The majority of humanity seems lost in the abyss of unawareness. The hollow and glazed eyes of so many reveal it all. Minds trapped in the dark, unfeeling hinterlands of distraction and thoughtlessness. They are not sleeping, but they are not conscious, alert, purposeful. They are buzzed out on coffee, but without awareness. There is no real center of energy, no grounding, no vibrant feel for the now. Life is not meant to be a long series of unfelt and undirected experiences. We are not to be zombies and slaves, unconscious animals trapped in dumbness to the moment, leading mindless and powerless lives. We are not intended to be inattentive to our loved ones and the duties of life or the dreams in our hearts. Should we wish to be free and alive with full power, we must decide to bring the full might of our conscious mind to the present experience. We must choose to feel again. We must sense this life. Let us remember that all that we love of life can be accessed only now. All we seek is here with us and available to us in this moment. All the real riches, love, passion, joy, satisfaction, harmony, are available now on the menu of the mind, available for us to savor should we awake and order them. All that we seek to become is also here. We can choose what role we want to play and how we will direct life's energies in each moment. Should we learn to direct our awareness and power in all we do, then discontent shall disappear and a vital energy will return. we will sense a vibrancy unfathomable to most men and women of this earth. For this, let us declare, we shall meet life with full presence and power. And that there was like, that's just powerful in itself, just now, the present moment. It's like when when I was down and out, depressed, a few years ago, and it happens, it's happened many times through the years, getting this depression vibe coming on hardcore. But, a few years ago, I was down with the depression vibe. I was totally depressed, and I was depressed, and anyway, depressed about my MS, multiple sclerosis, and I was down on all the lists that you see, or at least I was seeing all over, about the negativity surrounding it. As I see negativity surrounding it, the long list of possible symptoms, that could affect me with MS and that affect a lot of people with the disease. And anyway, I was just down with, the negativity surrounding it, the negative possibilities, potential for my disease. And I just decided, well, I'm not, I just need to do something. I need to get active, and so I did. I started getting active again, and I'll just tell you this. Since I started running in 2016, it's just changed my world. Except for brief moments, of course life happens, and you got to deal with life, and sometimes darker moments, but for the most part, and 99%, since I started running, and especially since I've been doing this never-ending run streak, this is day 729. I feel better than I ever have in my life, even before I had multiple sclerosis. Physically and mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, just all facets, I feel better. I don't know, my chi is at an optimal level is the best way I can describe it. And I just, with that, I just like to, of course, not everyone can be as active, as I am. Not everyone, especially people who's, may have worse conditions than, people that have worse conditions than I do. But, maybe they can't run. Maybe they are bound, As a matter of fact, I lined up here the other day. I heard a guest. Hi, Vika. I just saw your wave. Hi, my friend Vika. But at any rate, I just lined up as a guest that I'm going to be having on my show here in a couple weeks. A new friend named Taylor. From what I heard I saw part of her story on another show. Or actually, I was on a Zoom call, and she was on there giving her story. And she's in a wheelchair, and she was told she'd never walk again after a spinal injury, but she is bound and determined, to keep pushing forward, and works out all the time, and she's bound and determined to walk again. it's like of course I just related to that so much because I was told I'd never walk again, and here I'm running marathons, running every day. Uh, it's just like it's it's personal choice, personal decision. Just like the joy and gratitude, we make our own joy and gratitude. We become joyful about people, places, things, events, situations, everything in our lives. We can either be joyful about it, grateful for it, or we can bring up negativity and be negative about it. I choose to be joyful and joyful and grateful about life, things in my life, and watching myself on the Facebook live screen over here, I've never known until now, watching this the past few weeks since I've been doing this show, how much I actually talk with my hands. and but yeah, that's about that's yeah, that's where that's at. Sort of lost my train of thought on that one, but like this, I just flipped this book open, and it just my book, and I'm just going to read this paragraph super quick before the end of my show, or part of it. Some days I start slacking on my positivity, and that is when negativity creeps back in. But I catch it before too much time passes. I simply take note, pause, ask my Creator to help guide me away from the negativity and back to the positivity, and wait until I feel it or proceed very consciously. Being positive, having a positive attitude, thinking positive thoughts, living a positive life. These are not things that were necessarily easily to do, let alone incorporate into my everyday life. As a young child, I remember being happy-go-lucky and positive about everything. Then life happened. My traumatic brain injury dramatically changed the course of my future. My drinking and doing drugs did not help the outlook. Relationships and their consequent breakups, run-ins with the police, trouble at school and trouble at home did not help to turn my bad attitude into a good one. I have always tried to keep a positive outlook on my life, but circumstances have always darkened the light I was trying to shine on it. Let me rephrase that. I have allowed my circumstances to darken my light, thus darkening my outlook on life. Today, I am reclaiming and taking ownership of my life. And it's like today I choose to create joy and gratitude in myself and in my, show in my life. And as a matter of fact, looking at the time, it's just about the end of my show. After this, I'm grateful that I get to go to my mom's and go for a walk with her. And then afterwards, we're going to have lunch. It's like back in the day, that would have been the last thing I would have planned on a Sunday, for my afternoon. But at any rate, yeah. Well, not that would have been the last thing, but, it would have, things being joyful and grateful and, having close relationships with family members and, hanging out with friends, going and running a marathon, those things weren't in my, outlook for the day. But I'm just creating a positive life, creating positivity, gratitude, joy in my life, and I'm loving it. And I'm loving being able to share that with the world on my social media. And so thank you all for joining me today. And I'm looking forward to my guest next week. Jamie Swift. He's my coworker and the filmmaker who's helping me help make a movie about my life. He was excited about my book, my autobiography, so essentially making my book into a movie. But at any rate, that will be next Sunday. And I guess that's about it. So thank you very much for tuning into Positive Vibes. And I'm just so grateful that I'm able to have this show and grateful you're tuned in. And I hope you got something out of today's show. And so with that, I'm going to get out of here. All right. Well, thank you very much and have a great day. Have a be kind, optimistic, and grateful, my friends, and have a phenomenal day. Later.